Good morning from Paris. I sent you an email about this, but I thought I would quickly tell a short story from my New York youth that, of course, popped into my head right after the interview. So it's a story of a backpack, um, which is basically my godmother, who I always referred to as my Aunt Betsy, worked for Ralph Lauren for most of her career. And one Christmas in my senior year in high school, she got me a Ralph Lauren backpack. It was a very, very flashy bag with big Ralph Lauren kind of logos and these yellow bangles on the bag. So, I thanked her, and this would be kind of like a little scene where, you have the actor who, or the adolescent who opens the gift and kind of grimaces and thanks his aunt. And I immediately went home and threw it in the closet, even though it was a beautiful bag. So a week or two goes by, and my mother asks, "Why aren't you wearing your new backpack that you got for Christmas?" Um, and I look at my mother and I say, "Mom, the moment I put on this backpack, I'm going to be mugged. I mean, it's not even possible. I'm just a walking target." She says, "Oh, you're exaggerating. This is not, this is all in your head." Um, she gives me backpack. She says, "Wear it to school the next day," and I throw it back in the closet. So that as well, that can be a little scene that's fun. The next weekend, which is a totally different story, my normal backpack breaks. The kind of straps break off. So the following Monday, I have to take my Aunt Betsy's backpack into school because I need a bag. Um, and there you can have a little scene where, I rip off all the yellow bangles and I try to rough up the bag and I even hit it with a knife, but it still looks new and really nice. And I go into school and I have swim practice after school, so we do that. And then I'm leaving swim practice with two friends of mine who are also seniors, and then my little sister who's a freshman. And we're walking along Columbus Avenue towards 92nd Street. And we're at the corner, about to turn down 92nd towards Amsterdam, and this kid runs up to us and he goes, "Yo, nice bag." And I'm like, "Okay, thanks." So we keep walking, and we're down on 92nd Street in between Columbus and Amsterdam, where unfortunately some of the lampposts have gone out. So that also is a very visual transition scene of going from kind of light into this kind of darker, moodier street, maybe a little film noir kind of showing, kind of atmosphere. And the kid runs back around in front of us with three of his friends, who are also two guys and a girl, and who are also high school age adolescents around our time. And they block our path and they stand in front of us. It's a very visual standoff. And the kid goes to me, "Yo, give me your bag." And I look at him and, I size them up and I go, "No, not a chance." And then one of his friends takes out a pair of handcuffs. And I ask, which to this day is probably one of the dumbest questions in my life. And I say, "What are you going to do with that?" And he slips the handcuff over his hand. So that could be a great, close up shot. And he curls it up and he uses it to make brass knuckles, basically. And he punches me in the face really fast like that. And so I take it. Um, and, we all step back. And then all four of us drop our backpacks, prepared to fight, which is absurd because I've never been in a fight. And, I'm there with my little sister and everything, but we don't know what to do. So actually, I would love also to do a series of shots of just the faces of the people, kind of, the four actors being super afraid, getting ready to fight, not knowing what they're doing. And one reason I tell this story a lot, and I've always wanted to do this as a short film, is just for this scene right there where the original kid who talked to me puts his arm on the shoulder of the guy with the handcuffs, and then he just points like this. And just this scene where all eight of our heads turn in unison, which would be kind of a beautiful visual symmetry. And we all look over, and there's a police car right there with a cop sitting in it. So they start booking down the street, running as fast as they can. And I run over to the cop car and to the police officer. And they say, "Sir, those kids just tried to take my bag. They hit me in the face. Like they're running down the street. Can we go get them?" And he looks at me and is like, "I'm sorry. I can't do anything. My partner's on a case in this hotel over here." And I'm like, "But they're running down the street." It's like, "I can't do anything, but stay here and we'll go look for them in the neighborhood when my partner's done." I'm like, "Okay, this is silly." So my friends leave and we're hanging out, and I look around and the partner's not coming down, and I'm there with my sister and it's freezing out, by the way, and our hair's wet from swim practice. So, you can see us shivering. And so we go to leave, and the police officer's like, "Where are you going?" We're like, "We have homework. We want to go home. Like our parents are waiting for us." And he's like, "If you leave the scene of a crime, I'm going to arrest you." We're like, "Oh no." He's like, "Sit in the car." So we get in the back of the car, and we're just waiting there and waiting and waiting. That's when we start doing our homework. And the partner finally comes out, and the police officer's like, "Okay, these kids were just mugged. We're going to go look for the muggers in the neighborhood." So he starts driving around the Upper West Side, and the kids are long gone, and he just starts pointing to random, obviously African American individuals, young. And he's like, "Is it this one?" I'm like, "No." And it's like, "This person," and like nobody fits the description. We're just driving around, and there's something very fascinating about being in the back of a police car and looking out at the world through that, because you actually feel like a criminal. So, and everyone's looking at you. So it also loves some visual scenes where not only are we looking at, they're pointing at these people, but people are looking in. And, the two kids who are in there are saying, "Oh God, like, I'm in the back of a police car and everyone's staring at me." And this is a bit of a switch. And they keep driving around, and at a certain point, we just start doing our homework. I actually take out my books and my sister, and we're marking things up, and we're not even looking anymore. So, that could be like a nice little scene also with music, smart aleck New York kids who are just doing their homework in the back of the police car. And so we're no longer looking out the window, and this is important for the story because the police car lurches to a halt, and the two officers drop out and they grab this kid. And then one of the officers comes back and opens the door and says, "Get out. We need you to check out this suspect." And we get out of the car, and I would love to do this as a pan. In a sense, it starts from the feet going up, and just from the feet down, it's brown loafers, brown slacks, button down T-shirt, with a kind of North Face jacket like everyone was wearing back then, but a very nice one, and a kid with glasses who happens to be black, of course. Um, and they kind of shake him and they say, "Is this the guy? Is this one of the guys who mugged you?" And I look at them and I say, "That is my best friend, Olivier Belzile." And this is a story. I mean, he and I talked about for years because it's just unbelievable. And they had actually driven right back around to our high school, and they just picked up this kid who happened to be my best friend in high school. Obviously, because I mean, but not even the way he looked, just simply because of his skin color. I mean, he was one of the preppiest kids I know. So yeah, that's a little story, and that's a very like visual New York story. I actually have millions of them. And I didn't come up with them last night. I do realize that the three stories I've recounted, intersect with race and power and structure. I think that was very present in my youth in New York. I think because of my family makeup, coming from a mixed race family, I was very attuned to that, and that informed my work later on, which is probably how I came to make this documentary around stop and frisk, how I ended up working at the UNHCR, at the Refugee Bureau of the UN, and ended up making this documentary about the migrant situation in the south of France, in the French-Italian border. Wrote a book about refugees in Morocco, also coming from a family that were refugees when they came to the U.S., but that's a whole nother story. So I think, the films I'm going to make are always going to be attuned to these social questions. I will say that in my current work, I'm trying to move a little bit away from that some ways and write some more comedy, write some more more funny but also philosophical scripts about human relations. I would one day love to make The Valley Rebels, the documentary I did in the south of France, into a narrative film, because the story there is so astonishing. That farmer and kind of all of Eastern Africa ending up in this small valley in southeast France, and how the people there reacted, how the valley was split between the people who helped and the people who denounced. So this is a little follow-up video. Thank you for taking the time to watch it. It was late last night. Sorry that I wasn't as fleet of foot or nimble in my thinking and responses as I think I normally am. And yeah, good luck with the decision process. And thank you for considering my candidacy. And of course, hope to see you in the fall and make some incredible films. Thank you and bye.